I'd like to welcome our keynote speaker, Dr. Raanan Gissin, Director of Faith Society and former Senior Advisor to former Prime Minister Ariel Sharon in Israel, who came to join us today all the way from Fort Lauderdale. Mr. Gissin.
Hey, Dr. Director, President of Temple Shalom, dear reverends, public figures, members of the villages, communities, it gives me a great honor and a privilege to be here today, 7,000 miles away from home, at an interfaith event, at the day that we and the entire world has vowed never to forget. I come here as an Israeli and also the director of International Affairs of the Faith Society. I was inflicted by a bug by Cantor Evan Levy, who told me, you have to join. And you know, when there is a cause, we usually Israelis, we also always join. But I gotta tell you a personal story, a personal note. Like Eitan, I was born in Israel on a kibbutz. I'm a fifth generation Israeli. My entire family was spared. The horrendous experience of going through the Holocaust. The redemption of the Jewish people started before the Holocaust. 70 years before the Holocaust, my great-grandfather came to the land of Israel. He came with a Bible and a rifle. The Bible that said that this is the land of the Jewish people, and the rifle, in case there were some people who would say, you know, you don't have a place here. And he made a place there. So we were a family that was spared, a whole tribe that was spared the Holocaust. Very few, I know, that did not have to go through the Holocaust. Yet I belong to a generation and a family, and there are many of us in Israel who are not spared to live with the consequences of the Holocaust. And the consequences of the Holocaust are imprinted on our DNA code like the Holocaust itself, which was imprinted on the DNA code of those who went through the Holocaust and the second and third generation. And to live with the consequences of the Holocaust means to ensure that it will never happen again. I want to give you a story and just a metaphor of what it means in terms that you can relate to. In 9/11, 2001, a couple of thousand people experienced ground zero. 70 years earlier, a whole nation in Europe was at ground zero. Yet they emerged out of it. They emerged out of ground zero to be become one of the strongest nations on earth, with a determination that what happened there will never happen again. Several years ago, 25 years ago, a very important educational effort was begun in Europe, the March of the Living. That stretch of 2 or 3 miles between Birkenau and Auschwitz, which was the death march of hundreds of thousands of children and people, became the place where people would walk, young children, youth from all over the world, from every denomination, experience with their feet the March of the Dead. And we called it the March of the Living. That was so that the world will never forget. A very important educational, pedagogical effort, and indeed those who went to the March of the Living will not forget. But something was missing. So about 10 years ago, those who organized the ceremonies there were approached by some members of the Israel Defense Force and said, listen, we want to add another element to the ceremony. While the people march there, we want 4 F-15s to fly at low altitude over the march. Oh, the Polish government at the beginning was against it, said, no, this is a military thing. It doesn't belong to a place of remembrance. Oh, yes, it does belong. Oh, they wanted us to fly at high altitude. We said, no, we want to fly low enough so that everyone on the ground can look up and remember. And it was hard to convince them. But we used a winning, most powerful argument. We said, those who walk on the March of Living are to ensure that this generation and future generations will never forget. And the F-15s who fly overhead with at least one member of the Holocaust survivor family pilot flying those is for those on the ground and for generations yet on board to realize that now we can ensure that this will never happen again. The F-15s, so it will never happen again. The March of the Living, so we will never forget. And the combination of the two creates a most powerful coalition in the world. And this year, we came with a new idea. This is the International Memorial Flag, introduced by the Flame Society to remember. And what did we do? We took the symbol, the emblem that now you proudly carry on your badge, the yellow Star of David, which was to single out the Jewish people as doomed people. And we make it a symbol of pride. We make it a symbol of victory. The victory of humanity over inhumanity. The victory of the need to remember over those who deny. And we made it the international flag, the international remembrance flag of the Holocaust. And from now on, this flag will be hoisted in every event, in every country, in every place where the Holocaust needs to be remembered. Why is this important? Why is it so important today? For 2 reasons. Because people forget what happened in the Holocaust. As the numbers of those who experienced the real horrors of the Holocaust dwindle, we have a responsibility to ensure that this will never happen again, that people will remember. In order to ensure that people will remember, you have to ensure that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, there will be those who will come to school, in high school, in elementary school, and the Holocaust will be part of their regular curriculum. Not just remembering it, because the remembrance is one element, but it leads to what the most important thing, which is the generation defiance. And I'd like to take this opportunity to make a little historical correction that many of you perhaps do not know, was not brought to their attention. The Jewish people in 1939 were 13.5 million people in the world. 6 million perished in the Holocaust because they had no opportunity to fight. The deception campaign run by the Nazi regime, a similar one, by the way, is run by the Iranian regime today, but that's a different story. But that deception campaign left them with no other alternative. But where there was an alternative, there was defiance. 1 million Jewish people fought against the Nazi war regime. 400,000 in the Red Army, 600,000 with Allied forces. The most highly decorated generals, the most highly decorated soldiers, compared to the number in the world, were Jews. 100,000 fought in the forest. A nation of 13.5 million, 1 million rose in arms. In my father's generation, my grandfather in Israel, were frustrated because we couldn't change it. But we established a brigade, a Jewish brigade that went and fought there. And the people who sit here in the front row are a living testament. The Jews did not go to the slaughterhouse. They fought. They stood up. And there remain like a memorial cannon to us. They are the flame that will tear away the night. And the night is coming, my friend. The question, can the Holocaust repeat itself? Yes, it can. How do I know? Just look around you. The distance between Walsam, the place where the final solution to the Jewish people was concocted by the Nazi regime, by Hitler and his hangman in 1942, the distance between that city and Tehran is very short. The language is different. The music is the same. Iran today, with a nuclear arm, with a nuclear bomb, is an improved, upgraded model of Nazi Germany. And they make no compunction about what they intend to do. Oh, like Hitler, they say, we're only going to take care of the Jews. We'll just erase Israel off the map. That's what Hitler said. I'll just take care of the Jews. And then went around systematically to erase the map of human civilization. That's what they want to do. And we just happened to be at the forefront there, and we told the Iranians that's not going to happen. And in the past 5 years, we told the world this is the threat, and now the world has awakened. And so it's the responsibility of each and every one of us today, those who know what the past was, those who fear the uncertainty of the future, to be the constituency of that future. Each and every one here who sits here has a responsibility, a personal responsibility, regardless of faith and denomination, a personal responsibility as members of the human race, as those who want to protect humanity against the possibility of total destruction and total darkness. The past has a constituency. Some of the members are sitting here. The president has a constituency. We are winning the president, so we take to them. What about the future? What about those generations yet unborn, the great grandson who are not born yet? Therefore, we have to create a constituency of the future. And therefore, I appeal to you today, at this day of remembrance. You want to do something that will prevent the Holocaust from repeating itself here in Toulouse, in Europe, in Italy, or in any other place in the Middle East, become a member of that constituency of the future. Join in the effort of the Flame Society. Raise your voice. Be part of that team of people who vow this we shall never forget. And with our effort to educate people, to ensure that high school kids in the state of Florida, 20, 30 years from now, will know